Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 tutorial video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. In our last video we created our little menu cards down here. In this video we're going to be using what's called a modal or a model. I'm going to add a button to each of these that opens up in a little window. And in that window we're going to have our menu items. So let's get started. Here's our Bootstrap 4 folder. Here's our index.html file we'll be working on, and here's our CSS custom file that we created for our custom CSS. Let's open this with our Brackets software. Brackets is a free text editor that's absolutely awesome. This here, you can download it from a link below this video. And we're going to be using an extension for this video called Bootstrap 4 Snippets. So if you go to File, Extension Manager, click on Installed if you have it installed. If not, you can just search for it and you can download the zip file, just drag it there and it'll install it for you. And once it's installed, all you need to do is click on the More Info buttons. It'll take you to the website of whichever extension you're looking for there. And let's scroll down until we find modal or model. There it is. There we go. Modal. And I'm going to use the large one here, which our shortcode is BS4 modal large with a capital M and a capital L on the large. So let's open up our brackets again. We can close that out now. Now I'm going to replace this bottom paragraph text here of the small I mentioned we'd do last time. Just going to hit delete. And then I'm going to type in that shortcode which is BS4 modal large, I believe. BS4 with a capital M, modal, and it's prompted us already because we've got it installed, and there it is, modal large. And there we have it. It's given us this nice bit of code here. Saved me typing it all out, which is a great time saver, as we keep saying. Now here's the button that's going to open it, and there's the text of the button, and inside this is where we're going to put the content. I'll just copy something over there. Let's just copy this over, so we've got something to display inside here. Tidy that up. Let's save that and see what we've got. It's not going to look too exciting until we do a bit of customizing. I think we can do everything that we need to do here pretty much in the index HTML till we actually customize the modal itself. So I've saved that, Control S. Let's go back to the site. Here's our site. Now I'm pretty sure I put that in the first one there, so it should appear with a button right here. Let's refresh that. There it is. Let's refresh that and let's click on this button. It should open a little model. There we are. And it's opened this little modal window here. And here I'm going to have a list of our appetizers and their prices. But we'll do that in a moment. What I want to do though, you just click anywhere off of that and it will close it. I want to use the same button as we've been using, which is this one here, which I think from memory is called button info. So all I need to do is change the name to, so let's go back to our index HTML. Here's the button, we've just put that in there. And button primary it's called. So I think ours were called button info before. Yeah, button info, there we go. I think we're going to have to give them a margin on the bottom as well. So let's just change that to info, make sure it's going to work. Control S to save, back to the site, and that should change to our button we've been using. Yep, there we go. That's what I wanted. But we need to give it a bit of a margin on the bottom. We don't want it sitting on the bottom of our card there. So let's give it a margin bottom of 5, because I think that's what we had up there. Let's keep it common. Margin bottom 5. Yep. If it's too much, we can reduce it. Let's save that. Control S and refresh. Actually, I think that's too much. I don't want as much space as that. Let's change that to like 3 or something. Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. Okay, so we've got that. That's working. Now I'm going to copy it over so we've got one of these on each of these. So copy from the title there to the div, the closing div. If you click on the opening one, it will show you the closing one, but we want the button included as well, and we may as well keep that title for future reference. And we just want to paste it over this small text that we're not using here. There we go. Now let's change this to say view items, view selection, view items, I suppose. Now then, it's H4. Let's add some menu items. Let's change this to an H2, or maybe too large. And let's change this. Let's add an H4 underneath it with the actual title of the H4. Let's put the title of our menu item there, what it is, group of bytes, and the price. And underneath, we'll take that class away so it's just a regular P. And we want to take that class away as well. Might want to put a new class in there, so I'll keep that class, but just keep it blank in case I want to add something else there. And underneath, I guess we'll do a little description of what this item actually is. Save that, Control S, and see what we've got. Let's refresh and see what we've got. Seem to have more space than I wanted there. I think I'll just shorten that. There you go, appetizer, group of bytes. That'll work. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll keep adding those underneath there. Let's just tidy this up a minute. See what's going on there. Let's go back to our site. Get rid of that word there, so all my lines are about the similar length there. Save that. It looked like I got too much padding. That's more like it. Now they all look the same. I think I might want a bit more padding around that to separate it from these. Then I want to add some more items underneath. And why don't we make the background color this blue here and the writing white? Let's have a look at that. So let's click out of that, go back to our HTML, and here it is. Button's fine. Here's the class. Here's the model content. So what I want to do is go to our custom CSS folder. I've got mine open here, but if you haven't got yours open, go to your Bootstrap 4 site. Inside there, there's a custom CSS file that we were working on, and open it. Just hit the open with brackets, and there it is. It's open. I've got mine open already, and we'll do it under the menu section again. So let's do, that's that blue color I want to use right there. Let's do, it's called model content here. So let's copy that. And we got an H2, we got an H4, and we got a P. So we'll remember that H2, H4, P, because we want to make those white as well. So let's go back to our custom CSS, drop down one. Put a dot because it's a class. And model content. Open and close some curly brackets. Bit of space in between. And we want it background color, or background will do. Colon. There's our color I want to use right there, so let's just copy that. Let's go back and give this text a class of its own. Let's call it MN, I guess, for menu text. Let's just copy this and give that to the H4 and the P as well. Save that. And now let's give it a color. So dot MN, open close some curly brackets, color equals hashtag FFF, which is white. Save that, back to our site, refresh. There we go, that's given our modal background the color we wanted, and the writing is white now. But I want a bit more space around that appetizers, definitely top and bottom. Let's change that. We can do that in HTML. There it is. So I'll just give that a bit of extra class. I'll give it padding. Let's give it padding 2, I guess. That'll just give it a bit more space. Separate it from the menu items. Refresh. There we go. Could do even a little bit more. Let's make that P3. Control S to save. Back to the site. Refresh. That's better. Bit more space there. Okay, all I'm going to do now I'm going to copy this, just paste it below it, Just save that to see if it's giving it enough space in between I mean. Refresh and have a look. Yeah, that's going to be fine. And I'm going to put my different appetizers in between there. So what I'll do is I'll pause this while I do that, because there's no point you seeing me just copying and pasting things over and over again. So let's just pause this. Okay, so I've put in a bunch now, just to show you all I was doing is copying those two lines there, the H4 and the P, Control C, copy, dropping down one, just tidying it up, paste that in there and put my new menu items in there. I'm just pasting that in there. And then pasting the description. That way they've got all the same classes and they'll look exactly the same. And I'll do one more. Paste that in there. Got any ands there, you want to put an ampersand, so it's and AMP semicolon ampersand sign. So some browsers have a problem with that, just the ampersand on its own. So peel and eat shrimp. And just put that in there. There we go. Let's save that back to the site and see what we've got. Refresh. Now when our modal opens, there we've got our little appetizer menu there. And you can just click anywhere off of it, it'll disappear. So we need to do exactly the same thing for these items here. I'm not going to go through all that. I'll just pause again and just do it quickly. Okay, so I've added some more items to these. So our first one opens the appetizers there. And the second one opens the entrees. And I'll just show you something you've got to do to make sure that each button opens the correct one. Because I haven't done anything to this dessert one. And because we copied it over, it'll open the appetizers one. As you see there, we want it to open the dessert one. Let's go back to our HTML. And let's go down. You see our first one, the button, its target is BD example modal, which is, if you look below, is the div class of the modal right there, BD example modal large. That's what the button's pointing to there. In the second one, I just changed the name. Here's the button. I've changed it to ENT for entrees. And to that class model fade BD example model large entrees, I've just added that class ENT. So if we go down to the desserts, this is the same as the first one. So at the moment it's going to open that appetizer one. So let's give this one the name of Des for desserts, or an extra class of Des desserts. And let's point it to Des. So it's .des because it's a class, period, Des desserts. And just to save confusion, I know it's working. Let's call this one apps. For appetizers, so the target is pointing to appetizers. So we just need to give this an extra class of APPS, and that way they've all got separate classes. Class of APPS, appetizers, APPS. Let's save that and see if that actually works for us. Back to the site, let's do a refresh. And now each one hopefully will open up their own little modal there. So appetizers, appetizers or apps. Entrees. Entrees. There we go. And desserts. There's our desserts. So they're all working absolutely fine. You just have to give them, tell these buttons which one they want to do. So there you have it. We've built the card, and now we've built the model or modal sections. I hope you found that interesting and useful. If you have, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web design, take one of our web design courses below. We've got some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers, as well as some great free courses down there. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.